Hi, my name is Val Westover, and welcome to Lighting, the creation of a photograph. Now that we understand ISO, aperture, shutter speed, and how to put it all together, it's time to focus on what we're actually doing when we're taking a picture. We as photographers are painting with light. When we decide on a subject or a scene, we must decide how much light will hit our subject and how to arrange for that. Having knowledge of the settings on our camera helps us manipulate and control the amount of light that we need for the perfect photograph. Light is the single most important element of a photograph. As photographers, we create each and every one of our images with light. When we photograph a subject or a scene, we rely on our eyes to find the light that gives us the artistic effect that we are trying to accomplish. Photographers paint with light. They capture images by manipulating light. They tell stories. They document important events. And they create masterful fine art, all with light. We can have complete control when working with light indoors because it usually doesn't change and stays consistent. We have less control of light outdoors because it's always changing, such as time of day or clouds coming and going. Understanding how to find and how to work with light gives us the ability to take impressive photographs. The characteristics of light are strength, quality, and direction. Whether you're photographing outside, inside, with a flash, or with studio lighting, when working with light, all three of these characteristics must be recognized. Strength. Some light is stronger than other light. For example, the middle of the day is usually very bright, and the end of the day is usually very dim. Bright light creates more detail, and dim light hides shadow detail. Bright light brings out more detail and information about a scene and requires faster shutter speeds. Dim light can bring out mostly shadows with a few bright areas and requires higher ISO settings. The strength of light has an important effect on your images. There are times when you'll need a lot of light to show every detail or to capture fast motion. And there are times when you'll want less light to capture more shadows for a more dramatic effect. Quality. When talking about the quality of light, we're talking about hard light or soft light. Hard light creates deep shadows while soft light creates hardly any shadows. Hard light travels uninterrupted directly to the subject, letting the sun hit your subject directly. Soft light is interrupted as it travels to the subject, using a diffuser or shade to soften the light from the sun. When working with the quality of light, there are times when you'll want to use direct hard light to emphasize brightness, detail, and contrast. And there are times where you'll want a soft diffused light for a more even lit subject, softer lines, and less contrast. Direction. The angle of light can greatly affect the look of an image. Light can flatten, add texture, create dramatic effects depending on the angle at which it strikes. No matter how dramatic, you can create just about any effect that you want just by changing the direction of light. When light strikes the subject from the front, it removes most of the shadows and causes a flat look. When light strikes from the front at a slight angle, it creates more shadows, creating depth and texture. When light strikes from the back, it backlights the subject and creates dramatic silhouettes. We capture images by determining the type of light, the amount of light, and the direction that the light will strike the subject. Having knowledge of the settings on our camera helps us manipulate and control the amount of light that we need for the perfect photograph. Lighting is the single most important element of photography. We are light catchers. We paint with light to tell stories, to set a mood, and to capture beauty. The controls on the camera are there to assist us in expressing our thoughts and emotions through light. The characteristics of light are strength, quality, and direction. Understanding how to work with the amount of light, the type of light, and the direction in which the light strikes our subject gives us the ability to create beautiful and professional images. Lighting tips. Number 1. Create dramatic photos by using early morning sunrise or late afternoon sunset lighting. Number 2. Create dramatic effects by taking advantage of fog, mist, rain, and deep overcast. Number 3. Create silhouettes by backlighting when the light source is behind your subject. Number 4. Create soft and natural photos by using indirect window lighting. Number 5. Avoid walls to avoid shadows. Number 6. The more natural the light, the more natural the photo. Lighting practice. Number 1. List the 3 characteristics of light: strength, quality, direction. Number 2. True or false? You can always have complete control of your light outdoors. False. Number 3. Use a hard light for deep shadows. Number 4. Practice photographing a scene at different times of day and compare each image to see your results. Number 5. Practice photographing an object using a reflector at different angles and compare each image to see your results. Number 6. Use a lamp with a dimmer switch and practice photographing a subject while constantly changing the strength of the light by making the room light, then making the room dim. Seven, use a lamp and practice photographing a subject with the lampshade on and then with the lampshade off. Number 8, use a lamp and practice photographing a subject while positioning the lamp at different angles. By understanding lighting, you will be able to achieve professional quality images by recognizing and controlling the strength, the quality, and the direction of light. Now go and spend as much time as you need shooting until you feel that you have a strong understanding about what is happening when you take control of light. By recognizing and controlling light, you will start to create your own incredible photographic style. Composition. Arranging the elements of a photograph. Now that we understand how to control the technical settings on our camera and how to control light, it's time to create organization in our images. What is composition? Composition is what separates the pros from the beginners. It allows you to take control in the organization of an image. It would be hard to listen to a song that wasn't organized. Without an organized beat, pitches, or rhythm, the song would probably give you a headache. Well, the same applies with a photograph. Learning how to compose and organize certain elements can turn your image into a masterful piece of art. The basic elements of composition are used to create an effective and creative arrangement of a photograph and will take your images to the next level. The 7 basic elements of composition that we will be discussing are line, shape, form, color, texture, value, and space. There are many more elements. However, these are the 7 that most photographers use on a daily basis. Line. Lines are visual paths that lead the viewer's eyes to be able to move throughout your image. We are naturally drawn to lines. Lines give us order and direction. Lines make an image more interesting. You can lead your viewer to where you want with the use of lines. Lines add dimension. Lines don't always have to be completely straight. Lines can be S-shaped. Lines can curve. Lines are all around us. Lines are a big part of a well-balanced image. By creating visual paths with the use of lines, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Shape. Shapes are geometric or organic objects with edges used within your image. For example, a mountain can have a triangular shape, and a barn can have many geometrical shapes. We are naturally drawn to shapes. Shapes give us order and direction. Shapes add interest to your images. Shapes are all around us. Shapes add dimension. Shapes can be ripples in water, and shapes are a big part of a well-balanced image. By using geometric or organic shapes, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Form. Form is the length, width, or depth, a 3D effect within your image. Using a large aperture and focusing in the middle of your scene creates a 3D effect. With the use of a large aperture, form creates 3-dimensional images. Form adds interest because it pulls you into the image. Form draws immediate attention to your subject. Form can be accomplished of a close-up with a large aperture. Form creates depth within your image and can be accomplished with a wide-angle lens and a small aperture. By creating 3D effects with the use of form, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Color. Colors have various color properties, values, and intensities. For example, white flowers against a rich blue sky gives the flowers a powerful and interesting presence. A contrasting background color brings strong attention to your subject. Nature creates a perfect balance of color. Colors have a direct influence on our mood. Intense colors captivate us. Life's amazing colors can be captured straight out of camera. All you need is a little splash of color for a very powerful image. By balancing various color properties and intensities, you'll be able to hold your viewers' interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Texture. Textures are surface qualities which give a touchable illusion. Textures are all around us, such as walls, trees, ripples in water. With the right lighting, textures can have a 3D effect and really make your images pop out. Properly exposed images can intensify texture. Textures captivate us, keeping us interested longer. Life has an endless supply of textures. Stories can be told with the use of textures. Textures can leave us with feelings that we did not have prior to looking at an image. By using texture to give surface qualities a touchable illusion, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Value. Value is the shading that is used to emphasize a 3D effect. It is the contrast between black and white and all of the tones in between. Varying contrast is the varying changes between values. For example, an illuminated flower in a shaded pond gives a photograph a 3D effect. 3D effects accomplished by the varying changes between values adds depth and holds our attention longer. Controlling light, value can be used to draw your attention to your subject. Value can be used with color as well as black and white. With a well-lit subject and a shaded background, value draws us into the image. The simplicity of the varying changes between values can create powerful images. By using value to emphasize a 3D effect, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Space. Space refers to the positive or negative area that is used between the objects in your image. Negative space draws complete attention to your subject. Increasing or decreasing the amount of space around an object affects the way we view that object. Negative space can tell powerful stories. By using positive or negative space, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Using one or more of these elements when composing will not only give your images better organization, your images will become works of art. Besides the basic elements of composition, there are a few rules that I would like to touch on. The rule of thirds, the golden section, and framing. The rule of thirds. The rule of thirds places your subject in one of the thirds of your image. Imagine tic-tac-toe lines drawn within your image. Now divide your image into 1/3 sections from top to bottom and from left to right. Placing your subject in one of these sections can give your image more impact. The rule of thirds draws your attention to the subject. Then you explore the rest of the image. The rule of thirds can be used to add depth. The rule of thirds is a powerful way to keep your viewer interested. With the rule of thirds, you decide where to direct your viewer's eyes first. Powerful stories can be told with the rule of thirds. By using the rule of thirds, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. The golden section. The golden section places more than one subject in any of the thirds intersections. Imagine the same tic-tac-toe lines drawn within your image. Now find all of the intersections. These 4 spots are your golden spots. By arranging 2 or more subjects or objects in these golden sections, you can create professional-looking images. Placing your subject on one or more of these spots will not only be following the rule of thirds, it will make your image more interesting. Which in turn will keep your viewer looking at your image longer. The golden section brings your attention to more than one area within your image, captivating your viewer. By using the golden sections to spotlight more than one subject or object, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Framing. When composing an image, consider framing by using natural boundaries, such as window frames, door frames, branches, or anything else that provides boundaries to add impact to your image. Natural frames are all around us. Natural frames spotlight and bring attention to the subject. Framing completes an image. Fun memories can be captured with the use of framing. Natural framing can showcase happiness. By framing with the use of natural boundaries, you'll be able to hold your viewer's interest longer by taking control of the organization of your image. Using one or more of these rules when composing will not only give your images better organization, your images will become works of art. Composition practice. We're now going to do a review. However, we are not done discussing composition. Number 1. Use the rule of thirds to add balance and to make a photograph more interesting. Number 2. Add dynamic impact to a photograph by learning how to work with lines. Number 3. Draw interest to your subject by getting closer. Number 4. Avoid letting the horizon cut through your subject's head. Number 5. You can change the message of a photograph by changing the angle. Number 6. Use a plain background so that it doesn't distract from your subject. Number 7. Create depth that was present in the actual scene. Eight. Use natural frames such as trees or arches to frame your subject. Nine. Cropping tight ensures your viewer's attention. 10. Lines and shapes are the building blocks of a photograph. 11. Keep it simple. Don't add too many ingredients to a photograph. Composition practice material. Number 1. A road can be a visual path that leads to the subject. Number 2. True or false? Shading can be used for a 3D effect. True. Number 3. Textures are qualities which give your image a touchable illusion. 4. Yes or no? Can you accomplish form by focusing on a single flower? Yes. 5. True or false? Using the rule of thirds requires your subject to be in the center of the image. False. 6. List 3 examples of natural framing. Branches, window frames, and trees. 7. List 3 examples of shapes that can be found in an image. Buildings, plants, ripples in water. 8. True or false? To create a well-composed image, it's important to use as many elements as possible. False. Composition takes practice. Understanding and practicing the rules and the elements of composition will not only give you more professional images, it will give you more confidence in your photography. Understanding the basic elements and the rules of composition is vital to achieving well-balanced, artistic, and professional-looking images. Composition bonus. When composing, keep it simple. Keep it simple by dividing objects in an image into 3 groups. Number 1. The subject. The subject is the single most important element when composing. Number 2. Predicate. Predicates are other objects in the image. They must be used to enhance the image without overpowering the subject. And number 3, background. The background is almost as important as the subject, but it must be used to enhance the subject. Keeping it simple by dividing objects into an image into 3 groups when composing, you will create a powerful and meaningful image of any subject. Congratulations! You have just completed lighting, the creation of a photograph, and composition, arranging the elements of a photograph. You are now ready to move on to the next step, completion.